Hey, it's Pierre. I got a review for you today of my watch. This is the Fitbit Charge HR. I've had this for over a year now. I'm not even sure that Fitbit even sells this watch anymore. In fact, I'm pretty sure they don't. But I thought I would do a review anyway, just to give squash players an idea of what it's like to wear one of these fitness tracker watches. I actually did a review of this a year ago and never posted it for some reason. Part because it was too long and I can't even really remember why. But it gave me an extra year to try it out and see how it felt over time and how much I used it. Now, in the beginning, I used this every day. I loved it. It was amazing to see where I was getting exercise. Obviously, I get a lot of exercise playing squash, but it was interesting to see just going for a walk, how many calories you would burn going for a walk versus sitting around your house all day. It was amazing just how little it took to really get some exercise. And so it helped me pay attention to kind of over the course of a week how much exercise I was getting and give me some idea about where my exercise was coming from, where the kind of calories being burned was coming from. I found it really interesting. So in the beginning, I wore it all the time. I loved it. Basically, the way it works is it has it's pretty simple. There's a little button on the side here, and you cycle through the time. This is the amount of calories. You can change the order. I haven't worn it all day, and I'll explain why. That's the amount of calories I burned basically playing squash today. We've got the number of steps I've taken. This is one of the most common use for these kind of watches, is to count the number of steps and try to get you to 10,000 steps a day. It's supposed to be some made up number that's a good target for you to get some exercise. We've got my heart rate. It's not on right now. This is a heart rate monitor, and it uses this green light to kind of, I don't know how it works, but it can track your heart rate. That's how much distance I've traveled. And what else? Oh, there's the number of stairs I've gone up. Probably not many. Oh, 4. I was just on a squash court. I don't know how that worked. But and it also has an alarm feature. So if you want to set it to wake you up, and it'll kind of buzz your wrist, which is actually kind of helpful. I use that still sometimes. So in the beginning, like I said, I use this all the time. And over the course of time, I got a little sick of kind of having to sync it and charge it with, you got to kind of charge it, not every day, but kind of every other day maybe. And you got to sync it with your iPhone. And it's really not that difficult. I'll show you the app. So here's my Fitbit app. And it uses Bluetooth to sync. So it's syncing right now. And probably those numbers match what I was just clicking through. You can see on the app here, it's figured it out. And it'll help you, let's say you want to see your number of calories. You click that and you'll see what you did over the course of the week. Now these days I didn't wear it. I must have played squash on that day. I don't know what I did over there. And so today it hasn't really shown up here in today's stats. But one of the nice things about it is it just gives you a summary at the end of each week. It says, here's your most active day, here's your total number of calories, total number of steps, and it gives you little encouragements along the way, like, you've now climbed as high as the Eiffel Tower or whatever in terms of number of stairs. Little things like that just to keep you going. And in the beginning, I found that all awesome. Over time, the things that bothered me about it and caused me to not really wear it all the time was, I learned what I needed to learn. I figured out where I was getting exercise and what I needed to do more of, which for my case was go for more walks and also try to play squash one more time a week if I can. So part of the reason, like I said, that I don't use it as much is because it helped me learn what I needed to learn. The other is, I just twisting my wrist like that, and it shows the time, but somehow it doesn't always show the time right away. I don't know, I never exactly figured out how come I can't always get it to show. And but also, sometimes I just want to see the time without having to go, oh, and like there, it didn't even work, but you know, it somehow senses that you've done this with your wrist. And sometimes I just want to sneak a peek at the time without making a demonstrative move like that. And so I got back into just wearing a regular watch on days that I wasn't working out. I still use this when I'm playing squash. You know, it's just a bit more protected from sweat. It's not totally protected from water, so you can't really wear it in the shower, I think, or at least I think they don't recommend it. So I take it off, but excuse me. I just like it as an athletic watch, and I don't wear my regular just Timex watch with a, you know, it's got some sort of strap that's not appropriate for playing squash with. When you're playing squash, for a squash player, the only problem with this watch is just it being a watch. Sometimes I'll be going for a backhand, and I'll actually clip the watch as I'm coming through. It's rare, it happens maybe once a match. It's sort of annoying because it's usually when I'm in a tight space and trying to dig a ball out, I'm like, get out of the way, watch. But I still somehow I still enjoy the fact of just tracking my exercise a little bit, and I still sync it, but I'm just not as worried about tracking every single step and every single calorie. And it's nice that I don't have to have sort of that tech support aspect of my day. It's not hard to sync it, but just one thing you gotta remember to do, and you gotta charge it. So I've gotten away from using it, but on the whole, I think it is an interesting thing to try, especially if you're willing to say, okay, I wanna spend a few months learning what my exercise patterns are like and where I'm burning calories. So, like I said, this model is the Charge HR. I'm pretty sure it isn't available, at least it's not probably available on Fitbit's website. You might be able to find it refurbished. They got other watches that do similar stuff. Not all of them have a heart rate monitor. I was kind of interested in seeing what my heart rate was during matches, so that's why I got this one. They got other stuff. And it does a lot of other things. It tracks your sleep, which is actually kind of interesting. I was finding out that I wasn't getting a lot of sleep. You can track your food, your calorie intake, but you got to type it in. It's not something that's automatic. The sleep part is automatic, and it can also track your runs, which is kind of interesting. You can start an exercise by holding down the button, and then you go for a run. And I remember there was a map part of the app where it'll track where you ran and show you your route and give you some details about your exercise. I don't go for too many runs, but it was just interesting to try out. So I said this wouldn't be a long review, but I guess it turned out to be a long review. I hope this helps if you're thinking about one of these fitness trackers and you just want a little bit of perspective of what it was like as a squash player using this. So again, this was the Fitbit Charge HR. I'll link to it from Squash Source, but check out some of the other models that are available now. All right, thanks.